Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Good afternoon, dear students. I, Dr. Chintan Vagela, working as an assistant professor at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. A warm welcome to all the students. Our today's session is for the Master of Arts students. Subject code MEG 104, and the topic is Communicative Approaches, Part 1. I have divided this topic in two different parts so that we can understand, we can discuss it properly, and we can get the desirable outcome. So here that you can get the components of today's presentation: objectives, introduction, what is communicative language teaching, communicative language teaching background, communicative language teaching the topic, and learner-centered approach. The objectives. Kindly make sure that objective always asks us, objective also helps us that for what reason and why we are learning the particular thing. So here that you can see that certain objectives are identified. First of all, communicative language teaching is a fun and practical way of learning a new language by actually using it to communicate, rather than just memorize grammar rules or the vocabulary list. Instead of listening to long lectures, students in a CLT classroom work together in pairs or groups, perform role plays, solve some problems, or take part in real-life conversations, situations like booking tickets, ordering food, or giving directions. The teacher acts like a guide, mentor, or a coach, which helps the students to talk more fluently and confidently, while students take the responsibility of their learning by listening, speaking, and interacting in meaningful ways. The sources and materials are used, often real-world things like menus, videos, or newspaper, to make learning feel more natural and useful. The main goal is to help students become comfortable using the language in real situations, making learning more enjoyable, effective, and relevant to everyday. Next slide is about the introduction. In this slide, we are having an information about that communicative language teaching, that approach, that how its origin, how it works, and how it's working. See, first of all, in the 1970s, language teaching experienced a major shift. Educators to realize that the students could often read and write in English language. They struggled to actually speak and interact in real life situations. This gap between knowing the rules and using language, which led to the rise of communicative language teaching, a method that focuses more on talking and understanding in real context than just memorizing grammar rules. Earlier methods like situational language teaching, which relied on fixed dialogues and vocabulary drills, were found too limited, and by mid-70s, CLT began taking over, first in Britain and then global. The new approach encouraged students to use language in meaningful ways like solving problems, having conversations, and expressing opinions. This marked a major evolution in education field, where the goal was no longer to know a language, but to communicate with it. And today, both American and British language teachers recognize CLT as a powerful, revolutionary, real world oriented way to help learners truly use the language beyond the classroom. Next slide is all about that what is communicative language teaching. In this slide, we will focus on the topic properly. Communicative language teaching is a lively and student-centered method that puts learners at the heart of the classroom, turning them into active participants in their language journey. Instead of memorizing rules, students focus on real-life communication, learning how to use the language in everyday situations like chatting with friends, asking for directions, or handling real conversations. Born in the 1970s as a modern response to old grammar-heavy methods, whereas CLT emphasizes building communicative competence, not to just grammar, but also knowing what to say, how to say it, how to represent, and at which time. So lessons are packed with interactive tasks like role plays, interviews, group discussions, and the games that learning fun and meaningful. And by using language in realistic ways, students gain confidence and practical skills that prepare them for real world communication. In this slide, we are having an information about the background of communicative language teaching. See, we already discussed in the late 1960s, the language teaching started to change in a big way with the beginning of the communicative language teaching. And before that, most students were taught using all methods like situational language teaching in Britain or audiolingualism in the US, where they repeated sentences and memorized grammar without really learning how to speak in real life situations. But the teachers and the experts began to realize that these methods didn't help students actually communicate. So CLT was born, and instead of just practicing grammar rules, students started using the language in fun, meaningful ways like role plays, group talks, and the real life situations. This new approach made learning more useful, natural, and exciting, which helped the students to speak and understand English better in daily life. Next slide is all about that communicative language teaching. Language is more than just words, and grammar is a powerful tool we use to express ourselves, share our thoughts, and connect with others. In communicative language teaching, language is seen not to just as a subject to study only, but also as a living system that helps us how to learn and grow. And it helps the people to express emotions, values, and opinions, which is key to build strong relationship and behaving well in social factors. CLT also focuses on each learner's individual needs, using feedback and error connections to help them improve. Most importantly, learning is a language is not done in isolation, but this is the part of a bigger picture connected to our personal, social, and emotional development, making education more meaningful and complete. The next important slide is all about that learner-centered. Make sure that this is the learner-centered approach. So you will get the information, the content, and the knowledge in learner-centered way. Let's discuss. Learning a language is used to be all about listening to the teacher and memorizing rules. But communicative language teaching changed the scenario. Now, classrooms are students friendly and fun, where learners talk, ask some questions, and work together. Instead of just teaching rules, the teacher becomes a helper, mentor, guide, and in some cases, friends as well, cheering students on as they practice real conversations. Students do exciting things like role plays, games, and group chats to use the language in real life situations. And the best part is that students feel more confident and happy because they are learning by doing and not to just by listening only. CLT makes learning a language a real adventure. So, dear students, I hope that you got the point that what we have discussed today, that communicative language teaching. So, thanks to all the dear students for giving your valuable time. Thank you.